Hi, I'm Bibo, and today I'm going to show you how to play Tsuro Phoenix Rising. Long ago, a vengeful god stole the stars from the night sky. To illuminate the night, glowing paper lanterns were sent floating toward the heavens. This act of hope summoned clever magical phoenixes who soared through the sky and raced toward the lanterns. As the birds flew from lantern to lantern, their enchanted touch changed the lanterns into brilliant new stars. The phoenix that creates a constellation of 7 new stars will illuminate the night sky and once again restore the balance to the path. In Tsuro Phoenix Rising, players are tasked with guiding their phoenix along its path, just like in the original game Tsuro. However, this one comes with a twist. Instead of attempting to just stay on the board, players are now tasked with creating constellations in the sky as they guide their phoenix around the night sky. Anytime a player leaves a tile with a lantern on it, that lantern turns into a star and it gives the player a star token. The first player to collect 7 star tokens, or the last phoenix remaining in the sky, is the winner of the game. To set up the game, connect all 4 game tray pieces into a 6x6 grid. And then, one player places all of the starting tiles onto the board and makes sure that all of the tiles placed there are on their full cloud border side up. The players will each be given 2 of the remaining tiles. The Phoenix tile will remain on the top of the stack with the remaining tiles. Place the star tokens nearby, and each player chooses their Phoenix pawn and sets it on the outside edge of the board facing any square as their starting position. They are also each given a life token. This may be expended once when the player moves the phoenix off of the board. If they manage to fall off of the board a second time, then they'll be eliminated from the game. Then someone will place the lantern markers of the corresponding colors on all 7 center tiles, showing a glowing lantern icon. This is a glowing lantern, this one's dimmed. Don't place a lantern marker on any center tile which is dimmed. The youngest player starts the game. On their turn, they'll take 3 actions total. They'll create their path, they'll travel their path, and then they'll prepare for their next turn. To start their turn, the player will extend the path in front of their phoenix pawn. This can be done one of 2 ways. Either the player will add a new tile to the space in front of them, if it is empty, or they will rotate or flip an existing tile that's placed in front of their pawn. To add a new tile, the player will choose one of the 2 tiles in their hand. The new path can be placed with either side face up, and in any orientation that they like as long as it extends their own path. The other tile is discarded. When coming onto the board, they may choose any of the 4 path options offered on the face of the tile that they place. If the player's pawn is stopped on the board, then the player might choose to flip or rotate an existing tile in front of them to extend their path by picking it up and flipping it to either side, then rotating it in any way that they like, in order to create a new path for their phoenix pawn. After they've chosen a path to travel, they must actually travel it, and they follow the path until they reach its end, which may take them across several tiles. Any other players whose pawns have extended the paths in front of them will also need to follow them in turn order. Any pawns that run off the board are placed in front of its owner, and they may return it to the board on their next turn by expending a life token to rise from the ashes below. During this movement, the pawn will be entering and exiting tiles containing lantern markers. When they exit one of these tiles containing a lantern, they create a star. Remember that you need 7 of these to activate the end of the game, and then each player is given an equal number of turns, and the player with the most stars wins the game. The stars are only made if the phoenix leaves the tile. Ending movement on a tile with a lantern marker does not create a star. This action creates a star. This action does not. Once a player is finished moving to the end of their path, they will do the following. In the tile order in which they traveled, the player moves each lantern marker from the tile it shares with the star token to a different tile featuring a matching lantern icon. The tile they choose cannot contain their own pawn, a star token, or a lantern marker. After that, they remove all star tokens from the tiles and then place them in front of them in order to score them. Then, in turn order, opponents whose paths were extended off turn will then place their star tokens and remove their lanterns as required, scoring appropriately. If ever a player gets stuck in an endless loop or collides with another pawn, they're removed from the board, then put in front of their player, and they may rise from the ashes again and be placed on the board during the player's next turn. When they do this, they draw the top 2 tiles from under the Phoenix tile and start again just like they did at the beginning of the game. Be careful though. If you're off the board without your life token, or if there's no empty spaces to return onto the board, then you'll be eliminated. If players choose to, they may also remove themselves from the board at any time, which can be the key to a victory. Be brave and do what you must to create the next constellation of 7 stars. And that's how you play Tsuro Phoenix Rising. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Be bold, play games, be you. Happy gaming! Marker from the tile it shares with a star token to a different tile featuring a matron